Greetings everyone, welcome back to Blade Bias, and today it's time to flip the case over to the main side. And today, I would like to check this out. Huge thank you to Ted for sending over this case and allowing me to check out all of these awesome balisongs. I'm sure that you've seen it maybe on his Instagram story way in the past at this point because I'm recording these way before they come out. But the reason that I have this case, in case you've been wondering, is because Ted was up visiting me and Ty and he wanted to have his collection here without having to bring it on the plane. So I get a little bit of a chance to make some videos on this and check some things out before he gets here, which is super cool of him to let me do. So huge thank you to Ted. Today, we are checking out the Squid Industries Glide Kraken. This is the Blade Show exclusive Kraken for Blade Show Texas 2026. And I mean, Squid does a lot of stuff with the Kraken, especially exclusive stuff for the Kraken at Blade shows. I mean, we have things like the other one that I own, the Damascus Kraken. We've got the Damascus Bowie Kraken, the Damascus Tonto Kraken. We have things like the Spiral Kraken. There's a lot of different iterations of the Kraken out there. And I think, based on my time spent with this, that the Glide Kraken is my favorite of them. Now, the Damascus Kraken is my favorite, limited time Kraken ever, but this is still a normal Kraken. Like, all of the hole patterns are still there. These are still normal Kraken handles. This is still, by all intents and purposes, a normal Kraken blade. So I don't fully count it like a variation of the Kraken in terms of changing how it performs. This is more of a aesthetic upgrade, and it is my favorite special Kraken. But in terms of actual functional difference, the Glide Kraken is probably my favorite. The Spiral Kraken was a balisong that never really got me because it removed the hole pattern, much like this did, and it introduced some speed channels. But it just never felt right to me. It felt weird. Maybe too handle biased. I don't know. But one thing that I have always loved is speed channeled Krakens, especially speed channeled Bowie Krakens. Bowie Krakens don't have a ton of tip weight, so it can make it feel more handle biased than it actually is. And when you remove some weight from the handles via, I don't know, a speed channel, it kind of balances out that lack of tip weight to make the balisong feel more neutral, and I really like that. In fact, one of my favorite flipping Krakens of all time is Ty's polished silver speed channel Bowie Kraken. That thing flips freaking awesome, and I love it. And the Glide Kraken kind of brings that experience closer to the stock Kraken, because this, by all intents and purposes, still feels like a stock Kraken, even though it doesn't have the typical holes in the handles that you're used to from a Kraken. And I believe it's Cerakoted to give it this awesome color, which, by the way, side tangent, Squid just does not miss with their special colors. They've been doing special colors for, 7 or 8 years now? And I don't think they've ever released one that looked bad. I mean, they've got, their mithril, their gunmetal, pink, this blue, greens, and yellows and golds, and they just all look awesome. And they're still coming out with new interesting colors for the Kraken, which is just so cool. But missing out its whole pattern here, taking out some of that weight on the side here, and improving the jimping right here all make for improvements to the Kraken that I didn't know I needed. But man, am I happy that they exist. It makes this whole experience feel much more neutral without giving up that handle bias that makes the Kraken so consistent in everyday flipping. It still does everything that I want it to do, but it performs a little bit better, or at least it feels like it performs a little bit better in fans and choker fans because it has a little bit of that weight balance. And I love it. I actually really, really, really enjoy flipping the Glide Kraken, and I didn't think I was going to. I thought that this was going to be just kind of a meh Spiral Kraken experience where it just kind of feels a little more handle biased than it should and just never really works. But I actually really like this. It's not as intense of a change as you would really expect. When I go back and I flip my Damascus Kraken, I'm like, okay, this feels mostly the same. It's really just that fanning performance. Because my Damascus Kraken kind of dies sometimes when I go to choker fan it. Not all the time, but sometimes it'll just peter out and lose all of its momentum. And I don't really get that here. That balance that you get from the speed channels, I think is awesome. Now, if you have a Tonto or a Weehawk one, it might be a little less awesome since there's more tip weight there, more blade weight even, I think, in the Weehawk's case. And that might throw the balance just completely out of whack. I think this works so well because it does balance out that little bit of tip weight that the Bowie one is missing, with some missing material from the handles and down here as well, to make a more neutral feeling ballast song without actually making it more neutral. It's just different weight distribution. Kind of like how the Tonto Kraken and the Bowie Kraken are different because of weight distribution more so than actual balance. I think I'm kind of just regurgitating that from, I heard someone say that the Bowie one is the heaviest blade. I don't know. Is that true? Someone fact check me in the comments or not. But I really like it. I think it feels really nice. I think it looks really nice. I actually like the more simplistic look with the missing holes in the handles here. I love the swordfish style speed channels on the side. My main complaint here is that this upgraded jimping doesn't carry over on the inside. And this seems to be something that Squid does a lot, because jimping is only as good as its worst side. So you have like the Squid Industries Tsunami, which has jimping on the outside of the handles, but not on the inside. So at that point, you might as well not have jimping at all, because your inner finger is just going to slip off long before your outer finger does. So there's really no point to having the jimping on that side at all. So it kind of becomes a point of like, this side is upgraded, this side has better grip, and these little holes make far bigger of a difference than you would expect. It causes a lot more grip. My fingers really dig into that more than I would really expect. But this side doesn't have it, so your fingers just kind of slip off of this. Thankfully, it is Kraken jimping, so it still is functional working jimping. It's just, I really would have liked to see that upgrade transition onto the inside as well, because it would be, Andrew Meyer's peon level of jimping. It really does a lot for me when I run my finger over it like that. There's a lot of grip to be had there. So overall, Glide Kraken, probably one of my favorite, besides the Damascus, my favorite blade special Kraken. And I really do enjoy that Squid made it and continues to make the Kraken interesting and engaging with little changes, even so many years after it's come out. Pretty cool stuff. Huge thank you to Ted for letting me check this out. And thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Later.